Scream is a 2023 slasher horror movie. Once again, it was created by Radio Silence and stars Jenna Ortega, Melissa Barrera, and Hayden Panettiere. So in this installment of the Scream franchise, it brings our last protagonist from the last Scream, so from Scream 5, over to New York, where they're going to college and stuff ensues and they're running again from the Ghostface killer.
He's gonna keep coming after us. Maybe he gets to win this time.
So as you can tell, I am not in the studio. I'm on vacation with my family down in beautiful San Diego. As you can see from behind me, this gorgeous weather, and it's just absolutely awesome down here. But it's a tricky situation trying to shoot this review. I actually shot it last night right after seeing the movie, but the audio was just absolutely horrible. So hopefully the audio is a little bit better in this situation. I would shoot it inside, but I got a couple little nephews that are not very quiet. So I decided to shoot it out here instead. So bear with the audio. It's not going to be the best, but I still wanted to come at you and give you my thoughts on this latest installment in the Scream franchise. So this one really takes off where that last one left off, with our core 4 survivors. And their bond between them has gotten even stronger. And the character development with those actors and with those characters feels even more strong. Part of it is, I guess, knowing these characters now, but there's just a much stronger feeling of caring about these characters and if they survive, and just enjoying their friendship, the friendly banter, and really just feeling that kinship to Randy and his niece and nephew, and just how their banter kind of reminds you of the way he talks. And it's just a lot of fun, and it brings some nice levity to this movie. But this goes even harder into the horror. The gore especially is just insane. Like, this really takes it up a notch, but it takes it up a notch without kind of trying to be another franchise. It didn't make me feel like it was trying to be a Friday the 13th movie. It just felt like a Scream movie, but just for this modern era, and just pushing the boundaries even further, taking a few chances. They really take some chances in this, especially in the opening cold, which I don't want to tell you much about at all, because I'm not going to give anything away spoiler wise in this review. But the opening is absolutely savage and exciting and twisted, and really makes you go, what? Your mouth dropped? You know, that kind of deal. Really surprising, and definitely different from anything we've seen to this point in the Scream franchise. But just in general, they took some chances without kind of going too far. It very much still feels like a Scream movie. They did take some chances though, and not all of them were home runs. Like the final act, I think for some people is going to be questionable on how they felt about it. I enjoyed this whole movie, to be honest. I was extremely entertained. I had a blast by it. And it's a Scream movie, so just like all the Scream movies, every element of it may not be your favorite thing, but as long as you go in and get an entertaining, fun ride, it's kind of a silly slasher. It's a meta silly slasher, and that's what the Scream franchise has always been. And so that's why, me personally, I've enjoyed every single one of the Scream movies. They're not trying to be an A24 movie. They're just there to be a fun slasher with some great gore, some fun kills, some fun characters, and a little bit of that fun meta banter. But I thought all the characters, even the new ones, did a great job and really make you care about them in one way or another, or question what their motives are. This one really did a good job, I thought, of setting up the mystery and make you ride that ride and be guessing the entire time. I really had a hard time figuring out who was the killer, and just figuring out the whole scenario, even up until the very end with my final guess, and I was not exactly on par. There was one thing that I did guess, but for the most part, I thought this did a great job of really keeping you guessing and being hard to figure out. I really loved all the Easter eggs. You can really feel that Radio Silence, those guys really love the horror world. There's just so many little Easter eggs everywhere in this movie. Everything from things that people say to little things you see in the background. I definitely want to go see this movie again because of that. There's just so much. Every time I was looking at this wall, I would see something, or this wall, I'd see something. One of the things that really jumped out to me that made me really smile was my favorite podcast, Last Podcast on the Left. There's a poster of it in one of the dorm rooms, and I thought that was just fantastic. I was like, hey, Last Podcast on the Left. I felt like such a nerd, but It's just things like that are really fun in a movie like this, when you could tell that the people involved really love the horror world and just really lean into all that and aren't afraid to show how much they love and know about the horror world. Because there's like a subway scene where you see so many different costumes, and some of those are pretty deep dives. Like there was an Easter egg for Ready or Not, which is their first movie, but not a super widely known horror movie, and a bunch of other ones. So definitely pay attention in the subway scene when they're in the subway cars, because there's so many different costumes and it's just fun to see all these different horror icons. But either way, I think this is a blast. I think it's a great one to go out to the theaters and check out. So you got my 2 thumbs up. I really had a good time with this. So definitely get out there this weekend and check this movie out.
You want me, so let's finish this.
But that's going to do it for me today. Thank you so much for watching this. And if you enjoyed this, please hit that subscribe button and ding that little bell, because I post videos like this every single week. I also want to give a huge, massive thank you to the Ghost Pirate crew over on Patreon and over here on the channel members. You guys mean so much to me. And if you'd like to find out how you can become part of the Patreon crew, there's a link down in the description. Or if you want to become a channel member, there's a little button down there that says join, but you can only see it and do it if you're on a PC. For some reason, it's not available on a phone or an iPad. But like always, thank you so much for watching. Please crush that like button. And remember, guys, horror can be fun. And if you enjoy this, click right here to see my Harbinger review. And I'll see you guys next time.